are coming.
Conrad, are the supplies ready?
Yes, Commissar, they are ready.
Good, good.
Brent0331. I appreciate you guys for tuning in today and watching this video. I hope you enjoyed the intro. I got a good buddy of mine, Bruce. He came out here to film with us. Today we're going to be talking about the Primary Arms 3X Prism optic. Became a very big fan of Primary Arms recently. I didn't really pay much attention to it until I started having some of my buddies like Bruce that were showing up, and they started showing up with these Primary Arms optics, you know, stuff like this 3X Prisms, and you know, some of the red dots and everything else. And coincidentally, around the same time that was happening, I met Dimitri online, who's a viewer of my my videos, and he's the creator for Primary Arms of the Advanced Combined Sighting System. And I've just completely been sold on that. If you guys have seen my other videos on this Primary Arms 1-8X and the ACSS that I have inside this TA31 ACOG, I am sold on that reticle. I think that's a phenomenal reticle. I think it needs to be in the next generation of Marine Corps warfighting optics. That thing is just, it's got so many capabilities. And I'm going to talk, this Primary Arms 3X Prism has an ACSS reticle in it. It's a little bit different than the one that's featured in that PA 1-8 and this ACOG, but it's got a lot of the same principles, and it's just slightly different. And this 3X is kind of tailored for medium range to CQB, and some of the features in it are just absolutely phenomenal as far as that's concerned. So Bruce, he came out here today. I was talking to him. I told him I just got this 3X Prism, and he's like, "Hey man, I got one too for my 300 blackout." And I said, "Well, that's badass, because the one I have is for 5.56, 5.45 by 3.9, and then 7.62 by 5.1." So it, you know, it covers those three calibers, and then Bruce's, his 300 blackout covers that and 7.62 by 3.9. So, you know, AK operators and whatnot can use that optic. So we're gonna talk about this thing, because this thing has a lot of different features. I'm gonna turn it over to Bruce real quick so he can talk about his 300 blackout package that he has here.
Yeah, Brent, when I got this, started looking at building this 300 blackout rifle and getting into the 300 blackout world, you know, it's sort of a niche world. 300 blackout, as you guys know, is absolutely excellent. Performs very well in a suppressed rifle setting using subsonic rounds. One of the great things about 300 blackout is you can actually run subsonic ammunition through it, and it's extremely reliable. So you can end up with a very quiet overall report from your firearm while sending a 308 round essentially downrange. And so I wanted to build a rifle that had that suppression capability. Having seen a couple of our other friends that had some 300 blackout rifles, I was impressed. They were so quiet.
Yeah.
I know we were down shooting one day, and they were shooting up on the upper range, and I didn't even realize that they had shot and were finished. And we were 80 yards away probably, and you know, we were talking and doing our thing at the time, but it's surprisingly quiet when coupled with subsonic ammunition and a good suppressor. So I looked into starting to get into the 300 blackout world, put this rifle together with a 9-inch barrel, and started looking at optics. No idea what direction I wanted to go. And this optic from Primary Arms, this 3X Prism scope, just kept popping out, It was just the way to go. Very budget friendly, under $300 out the door if you shop smart. You know, for a lot of guys, especially you AK guys that are running $600, $700 rifles, it's hard to spend $1,200 on a new ACOG, right? But this one fits within that overall package cost very, very well. And I think that's part of the popularity of Primary Arms, is that they're kind of getting in on guys that are a little bit budget minded when it comes to optics, but they're giving them unbelievably quality for that price. This one purchased on my own. I got a deal on it at the time it was on sale, I think, well under $300. And I don't have a lot of rounds to this rifle. I'm just starting to test this optic, but I really, really do like it. It's calibrated for 300 blackout, 7.62 by 39. I put it on a quick detach GDI mount. We'll talk more about those in a little bit. But it's been an absolutely excellent optic, and has done everything that I wanted to do so far. And I am so impressed with it, and I'm always a skeptic, especially when it comes to budget optics. I like to test them for a couple of years before I jump on the boat and just go all out or all in on them. But I've got high hopes for Primary Arms and this optic. I'm seriously considering putting some of these optics on some of my 5.56 guns that I use a lot more than the 300 blackout. And we're not talking about niche guns, but we're talking about primary battle rifles like your Daniel Defense for me. So it's been impressive so far. Really looking forward to putting some more rounds downrange today, getting some more testing on it, and bringing you guys the results of that testing.
Awesome. And so, you know, here's my Daniel Defense. This is pretty much my go-to rifle here. If shit hits the fan, or General Mattis comes knocking on my door and says, you know, Gunny, get your shit, we're going to war. This is the rifle I want to have with me with this optic. This is the ACOG T31 with an advanced combined sighting system inside. So I'm completely sold on that reticle. So if this thing right here, which is a 3X and ACOG is a 4X, if this can offer, you know, 80% solution or so compared to an ACOG, and it's just under 300 bucks, that is phenomenal. I mean, I'm gonna pick up some more of these and put some of these on some of my other weapons, hands down. If they can offer, you know, everything that I'm reading and living up to. So, but let's go ahead and let's talk about some of these features in this optic. So here's another close-up of the 3X Prism. So they have a Picatinny rail right here at the top. So if you want to mount a red dot optic or like an RMR on there, you can go ahead and do so. One of the things I want to test today also with this 3X Prism is how applicable it is in CQB. So, you know, 3X, you know, it's similar to an ACOG, but ACOG's 4X. So I wanted to see how that 3X looks like inside a close confined quarters. But again, you have this option, you have this Picatinny rail, where if you want to mount a red dot on top, like I do on this ACOG, you can go ahead and do so. Kind of a close-up here. So nomenclature of this optic, yeah, it comes with scope caps. If you're, you know, a scope cap guy and you want to do that, you can leave those on, or you can just take them off. They come right off. All right. You got your eye relief here, eye relief adjustment. Very important. Make sure you set that to your specific eye relief when you first get ready to BZO the optic. For your daylight settings, so it has, you know, the reticle is etched onto the glass, so it's always there, it's always black. But if you want to adjust and turn you know, your daylight settings on, you can have that nice crisp red reticle for daylight settings and make it more easy to observe. So settings are 0 through 11. 0 is obviously all black. The battery right here, open that up. It's a CR2032, very standard. You can get that at Walmart, you know, not a big deal. And as you can see, it's got the O-rings in there, so, you know, help keep moisture out and everything else. Your adjustment turrets. You know, these are great when you're running around, you got gear and banging around on stuff. You're not going to lose your 0. It's not going to get thrown off. But you can undo those. Your adjustment settings that you got to adjust, you can use either a round casing or a flathead screwdriver to take care of that. The mount here, it's, you know, a standard mount. It just has these tightened down screws. It's not bad. It's pretty good. So one of the things that's great about this optic is it can take any ACOG mount. So this one right here, this is a GDI mount. This is the same mount that we have in the U.S. military for our RCOs and ACOGs. Another thing you can do is that the way these are set up is that these optics right here will fit inside your, you know, standard AR carrying handle. You just need the mounting screw to go underneath. But as you can see, if you take off this standard mount, you can just slide this in, you know, old school, inside the carrying handle, you know, mount it that way, if that's what you so choose. So it's got a lot of options. Bruce here, he's got the GDI mount. Bruce, go ahead and talk about your GDI mount and how you got yours set up right here.
Sure, just like I was looking for a budget-minded optic when I went with the Primary Arms 3-power ACSS, I also was looking for a budget-minded mount. I was having a hard time spending $130, $150 on a quick detach mount when I was only had under $300 in the optic, and I found a deal on these GDI mounts. I contacted a buddy of mine that was a medic in the Army, and he said that they were using them over there and that they were good mounts. That's all I needed to know. I picked up a couple, and I didn't know it at the time, but Brent had also found the same deal and had picked up one for himself. So I love it. I mounted it up. Everything's good to go. The GDI, they come with really everything that you need. They come in this nice little pouch, which will have your mount here, your mounting instructions, your Loctite, and a full set of screws. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there may be, I may be mistaken. Maybe there's not. Oh, these are flat tip screws, so you don't really need a wrench. You can just use a flat tip screwdriver to tighten those down and install those. I had no problems at all with the holes lining up and mounting perfectly to the Primary Arms 3X Prism scope, and once I got it mounted in place, it's been good to go. You can also reverse these. I wanted the left side of my rifle to be smooth, so I put the locking lever on the right side of the rifle, but you can reverse those around and they'll mount up just the same, just depending on how you want to mount your optic. These are designed for ACOG mounts that the military issues, but they work perfectly with these Primary Arms prism scopes that are made to adapt to the ACOG mount.
One thing I do want to mention is that we were looking through Bruce's reticle here, and he's got a chevron tip inside his ACSS, whereas I've got a different reticle. So if you look at the screen here, here's the two pictures of the two reticles. So here's a side-by-side comparison of the ACSS reticle and the 3X Compact Prism scope. On the left is the reticle for the 5.56, 5.45, and 308 optic. On the right is the 300 blackout and the 7.62x39 version. Before we get to putting rounds downrange, let's take a few minutes to talk about the reticle inside these two optics, because it's a big feature of this optic and is what separates it from the other optics in its class. This Primary Arms 3X Compact scope features an advanced combined sighting system, or ACSS reticle, inside it. If you have seen my previous two videos talking about the Primary Arms optics, you've seen me talk at length about the reticle and how I believe it's the most effective reticle for an individual infantryman to have in combat. This optic features a slightly different variation of the ACSS reticle than what I've talked about in my previous two videos. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. This version of the ACSS essentially tailors the reticle to a 3X optic. Additionally, there is also a slight difference between the reticle for the 5.56, 5.45, 308 scope and the 300 blackout 7.62x39 version. As you can see, the big difference between the two is that the 5.56 model uses a horseshoe reticle design and the 300 blackout model uses a chevron style reticle, much like that in the Marine Corps RCO. Other than that, the reticles are virtually the same. As with the other versions of the ACSS reticle, this reticle currently is set in yards and not meters. The reticle is really two reticles in one, with the top being for more close quarters engagements from 0 to 300 yards, and the bottom half being medium range engagements between 400 and 600 yards. The larger outer ring on the reticle is designed for very close, quick target acquisition during close quarters battle. Even though the optic is a fixed 3X, I find it pretty effective and not overpowered when engaging targets inside room-sized spaces. But even if you don't like the 3X magnification on the optic for CQB, there's a Picatinny rail mounted on the top of the optic for mounting a small red dot style optic. Just like the ACOG and the other ACSS reticles that I've talked about, it has several features that assist with range determination of your target. The reticle is set for the average adult male shoulder-to-shoulder torso of 18 inches. For 0 to 300 yards, the center of the horseshoe can be used to estimate a target's approximate range. If your target's shoulders are the same width as the center of your horseshoe, your target is approximately 200 yards away. At the inside bottom of the horseshoe, your target is approximately 300 yards away. Now look at the vertical bullet drop compensation ladder. Match up the corresponding hash marks with your target's shoulder-to-shoulder torso. The one that fits is the estimated distance to your target. In this example I have right here, your target is approximately 200 yards away. In this example, your target is approximately 600 yards away. On the 300 blackout and 7.62x39mm version of the optic, the principles are exactly the same. On a target whose shoulder-to-shoulder width matches up with the bottom of the chevron, it's approximately 300 yards away. Now, in addition to using the enemy's shoulder-to-shoulder width to estimate their range, you also have the dual vertical ranging brackets located on each side of the outer CQB circle. These brackets are set to estimate range by height, which is set for 5 feet 10 inches tall, the average height of an adult male. Simply place a standing target's feet on the baseline and match up your target's head with its corresponding line. In this example, our enemy is approximately 300 yards away. In this example, they are approximately 600 yards away. Once you have acquired your estimated range of your target, you would simply engage them by using the corresponding hash mark on your bullet drop compensation ladder. So moving on from range estimation, I want to go back to the top of the reticle and talk about these two dots to the left and right of the horseshoe or chevron style reticle, depending on which version of the scope you have. On the 5.56, 5.45, and 308 version of the reticle, these two dots are calibrated for where you would hold when you're engaging a man who is sprinting while holding a rifle. It's said that the average man running with a rifle moves at a speed approximately 8.6 miles per hour. So essentially, what you would do if engaging a man that is within 300 yards, you would place this dot on him, and once the round is fired, he and the round will connect in the same spot. On the 300 blackout and 7.62 by 39mm version of the optic, it is slightly different. Your dots are calibrated to engage a person jogging, not sprinting, which is said to be moving at a speed of 6.1 miles per hour. Additionally, with the same concept for the 5.56, 5.45, and 3.08 reticle, you can use the outside of the horseshoe to engage a person walking, which is said that the average person walking with a rifle is approximately 3.1 miles per hour. To do this, you would simply place your target on the outside of the horseshoe, and when you fire, your target will have moved right into the round's path. Both versions of the reticle have pre-placed dots, which are calibrated for where you would hold on a target with a 5 mile per hour crosswind at a respective distance. So after you have acquired an estimated distance to your target, and you have an approximate 5 mile per hour crosswind, you would simply place the corresponding dot on their torso and engage. Now obviously, if your wind is greater than 5 miles per hour, let's say 10 miles per hour, you'd simply just double the distance. Or if it was less than that, you could close the distance. In any event, these features greatly increase your capability of scoring first round hits on target with the different variables that come into play when engaging enemy combatants on the battlefield. This reticle is very well thought out and definitely increases the individual infantryman's combat effectiveness. Alright, now that you guys know a little bit about the reticle, we're going to go ahead and move on to the actual shooting portion. Now the first thing we're going to start with is the BZO. Now, with my particular setup in the 5.56 optic, it recommends that I BZO from the 100-yard line. Now, typically all the rounds that are listed in the chart says to BZO from the 100-yard line if you have that 5.56 variant of the optic. Now, make sure you reference the chart just in case, for instance, you're shooting a 14.5-inch barrel and shooting M193 55 grain rounds. It recommends in that particular case to BZO this optic at the 50-yard line. But typically, most of the rounds, most of the loads for 5.56 in particular, you're going to BZO from the 100-yard line. Now, Bruce, he has the 300 blackout variant of the optic. His manual typically recommends to BZO from the 50. He's already BZO'd prior to coming out here today, so he's just going to go to the 100 and shoot with me out there first and see how his 50-yard zero is holding up out there at the 100. So let's get to it. Let's put some rounds down range.
All right, so we're at 100 yards. It's going to be our BZO right now. The manual says to BZO these optics at 100, so that's what we're going to do. Right now I'm shooting M193 55 grain ammunition, Lake City ammunition. Bruce, what are you running here?
I'm running some 150 grain Remington 300 blackout ammo. This is not subsonic, this is supersonic, but we're running it with the suppressor.
All right, so let's get it going. Well, we're gonna shoot about 3 rounds, and then we'll make a weapon safe, go down range, and check out our impacts. That's not bad out of the box.
Out of the box, right?
Yeah. So this is my first time shooting with this optic. Haven't messed with it at all. I just literally mounted it on my rifle and shot. So it's not that far off right out of the box. But here's my first impact, second impact, and then third impact. So Bruce is probably gonna say the same thing, but the most challenging thing we got going on is the grass is a little tall. So you know, we're literally shooting through heads of grass a little bit. So at least I know I had to raise up my my bag so I could get a little bit higher. So what do you got, Bruce?
I was shooting through the heads of the grass myself, so I may take that trick and raise my rifle up a little bit, my bench up a little bit before this next round. I'm not sure which rounds are which, but you can see we're inside the kill zone here. We just need to tighten up that group, and that's going to be me. This may be my first cold bore shot, not sure, but we'll mark these off and give it another shot.
Yeah, so the adjustments on this optic are 1/2 inch at 100 yards. One click is a 1/2 inch at 100 yards. So for me, I'm just going to assume that you know, maybe this is an outlier here. So I'm just gonna go 2 clicks right and 2 clicks up and see where that puts me. You know what you're doing?
You know what? I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to assume that's a cold bore. I'm going to go probably 2 clicks up as well, and let's see where it lands.
Okay. All right, so I don't know. What are you thinking, man?
If anything, I'm going to bring mine 2 clicks back down, but I've got a nice 3-inch group here, 3 MOA, and this looks like the only thing that I need to correct is my shooting skill. It's pretty centered up on the bullseye center body mass. I'm pretty happy with it.
So these are 1, 2, 3 for me on my second string.
Okay.
I think I'm just going to go 1 click right and see where it puts me.
Okay, let's do one more itineration and see where we're at.
Okay, let's do it. Oh.
Did you nail it?
Yeah.
All right. That look better too.
All right, so you can zoom in here. My final string, I got 1, 2, 3, 4. So I had 3 in the dead center and then one right out the edge. So how you looking, Bruce?
Well, I'm looking good, but not as good as you are. So my final string, it looks like I've got 1 here, 2, 3, and 1 in the black. But I'm not going to make any adjustments off of that. That's a pretty centered up group.
Nice. So, okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to push it back to the 200-yard mark, and we're going to take some shots. We're going to replace these targets with some splatter targets so we can see our impacts. But so far, I'm pretty thoroughly impressed. So, like I said, let's push it back and see how it goes. All right, so we're at the 200-yard line now. We'll get this tarp down because there's a hell of a lot of poison ivy up here. So anyways, we're going to take about 10 shots at the target downrange and see how well our zeros are holding and everything else. So, you ready, bud?
Ready.
Let's do this. You good?
Good.
All right, let's go downrange, check it out. All right, so here's my final string of fire at the 200. I got 9 impacts on the target, so either I completely missed one or I just didn't shoot the 10th one. I don't know, we'll find out when I start watching the video. But not too bad, just to the right at 200 yards. I really can't even see this circle. I'm just pretty much aiming center mass of this black square. So taking that into consideration, that's pretty freaking good from back there at 200 yards. So one thing I want to note is that on this video I used some artificial support to help stabilize my shots. On my other videos at the 200, I just shot off the elbow. So I just figured I'd switch it up and you know, see how much more stable my shots and placement would be firing off that. My emphasis on the first time around just shooting off my elbow is, hey, it's a combat optic. I'm gonna, you know, not always gonna have something to support my rifle on, so that's why I shot off my elbow on those other 2 videos. But in any event, I shot off some artificial support and it looks like it did pretty damn well. So Bruce, what do you got?
Yeah, same. Again, at 200 yards through a 3-power optic, you're really not able to see this center circle. You're just aiming for the center of this black box. Got one really good hit here. My farthest spread is probably about 7 inches below. All 10 shots are here. And yeah, I would say that at 200 yards, that's going to be acceptable. All those are going to be center body mass hits.
All right, the last stage of fire is going to be a little running and gunning. So the course of fire is going to be, we're going to start back here roughly at the 100-yard mark. I'm going to lay down suppressive fire for Bruce. He's going to bound up about 15 yards or so. He's going to lay down suppressive fire for me. I'll bound up until we get to about the first set of barricades. At the first set of barricades, we're going to shoot from the different window positions. And after we get done shooting from each window position, we're going to move up to the second set of barricades. On the second set of barricades, we're going to shoot from each side. The final portion of this run and gun is going to be shooting on the move, closing into about 15 yards or so. Should make for a pretty good, fun exercise. Really test the optic and our ability to put rounds on target while getting the heart rate going and everything else. So should make for a pretty good run. You got anything to throw out there?
Nope. I'm ready. Looking forward to it. Really looking forward to getting some running time on this these primary arms optics.
All right, let's get to it. You ready?
Ready.
Move in! Step! Red, red, red! Up! Move in! Up!
Red, red, red.
Come on! Move in! Step! Ready!
Ready.
Move! Ready, ready!
Hovering.
Up!
Red, red, red.
Coming!
Up. Yeah.
It's not bad.
Yeah, not bad.
Unless we put one outside the target, which is, you know, it's always a possibility. virtually all of them are within the square.
Yeah, I agree. I've got a couple low.
Yeah.
But they're
too.
still hits, right?
Yeah, me too. Same deal. So that's pretty impressive. We're talking about an optic that's just under 300, and
Yeah, I think I got online and they're actually right at 250 shipped from Primary Arms.
yeah, so that's pretty good, guys. You saw what we did at the 100. At the 100, we were putting them in the box towards the end of our zeroing. At the 200, we were still making pretty good hits in the target there. And then the run and gun here, most of them are, all of them are kill shots.
Yeah.
So the only knock I'm gonna give this scope is I took this straight out of the box and put it on my rifle, and not the mount attached to the weapon, but where the scope sets into the mount actually came loose. So I had to, right before we did this run and gun, I had to take this off and then tighten it, tighten the mount to the optic. So that's the only negative that I'm gonna ding it on, but hey, when you get this thing, you should be taking it off, putting Loctite on it anyways. So I just wanted to test it straight out of the box, and you know, lo and behold,
There you go.
all the more reason to throw Loctite on there.
Yep.
So other than that, guys, awesome. I give it my stamp of approval. ACSS reticle, outstanding. This optic actually is a little bit different than the standard ACSS reticle. Brings a lot more to the fight. So it's got my thumbs up. Bruce, what you got?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm still impressed with the optic. It's doing a great job for me. I found a Chevron reticle that's featured on this optic is just wonderful. It's nice and precise for a 3-power optic. And I'm a little bit spoiled because I've been accustomed to running a no power red dot.
Yeah.
And a 3.5 MOA Trigicon. So going to something like this, I have a lot more precision, and I feel really good about it at this point.
Right, and I would say, I would agree. It's like a happy medium between a red dot and, you know, like a full power variable scope.
Yeah.
It's right there. It's ready to go. You don't have to worry about. You don't have to adjust any power settings. Like the 3X is. It's just enough to give you a little added benefit at shooting at distance, and it's not too much when you're up close range. Just coming in here at 15 yards and closing with the target, it was like I almost felt like I was using a red dot. It was not. It didn't seem like it was magnified or anything else. It was just a clear, crisp image. There's my reticle on body, slaying bodies. Good to go.
Absolutely.
So, outstanding. My thumbs up. Primary Arms, good deal. All right, fellas, that's it. That concludes this video on the Primary Arms 3X Prism. I just want to give a big thanks to my buddy Bruce for coming out. I also want to mention that Bruce has started up a YouTube channel. Please go over to his channel, subscribe and like, and check out all his videos. He just started. He's got a few videos posted up already, but he's going to have a lot of good content coming down the road. So big hats off to him. I know he's out here sweating his ass off. We've been out here for probably 8 hours filming this video to bring to you guys. So it's probably, what, 100? 90?
Yes, it's
90?
hot, dude. It's got to be over 100 with the heat index.
Yeah, so this is North Texas in the middle of summertime. It's mid-July right now, and it is freaking blazing. So big hats off to Bruce, and you can't see, but his girlfriend's here is actually the camera woman. So big shout out to her as well. But Bruce, we got any closing comments for us?
No, I just we'll just reiterate what we've already said. We're pretty impressed with the optic. It's working out well. I know Brent mentioned check those screws, make sure they're tight. It might have just been a fluke on him. It's one of those things. He put it right out of the box and ran it, and after a little while we realized that it was a little loose because the two underside screws just weren't torqued down tight. I'd recommend put a little Loctite on those, tighten them down, make sure you're good to go. I didn't have that experience because as soon as I got mine, I put that GDI mount on mine, and I made sure that it had Loctite and it was torqued properly. So I didn't run into that issue. I've had no issues. Accurate, reliable so far. Working good in different light settings, and I would say you know, you got to give them a hard look. There's a lot of YouTube videos out there on this optic. There's a lot of guys out there that are flat out torture testing these, freezing them in blocks of ice and all kinds of crazy stuff. Entertainment purposes, check it out. But we got to say, I'm giving it a thumbs up. Yeah,
I concur. I'm not about to destroy this because I want to use it. So don't expect a torture test from me anytime soon. But thumbs up for me, absolutely. Alternative to an ACOG, under $300, outstanding. Big thumbs up. So thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to leave a comment, and don't forget to check out Bruce's page. Appreciate it.